I saw this movie, um, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago. I don't know how long it's been now since I saw it, but it really struck me. It really, really struck me. And trying to say anything in such a small place is so hard because this might be the only time you hear anything from me, and then that's all you know about me. But basically, for a long time, I've been living in the now. I read about it from Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, just after reading the Neale Donald Walsch books, Conversations with God. We watched What the Bleep Do We Know? We watched The Secret, and, read Eckhart Tolle and the Celestine Prophecy and all those wonderful things that really helped to wake up a lot of people. Now, a lot of people think that's all part of the New Age, but I don't know. Because I see Eckhart Tolle with Oprah, and I know Oprah is in the cult of Satanists, so I'm confused, but I do think that there was some kind of a shift, that these people that are in this cult right now, in the past that I'm from, they weren't. They might have not been the greatest people in the world, who knows, but they weren't going out drinking terrified baby's blood by the moonlight while, burning effigies and having orgies, like we know the Satanists do now. Anyway, I'm going to get too far off track like I always do. So, for a long time, I noticed that I was living in the now. And I mean really living in the now, as in if I'm talking to someone on Messenger, because I used to have Facebook back then, and I walk away from the computer, I have absolutely no recollection that I'm speaking to someone on Messenger, or that I need to return to that room for any reason, or anything like that. Okay, now I had a friend that was selling this kind of tea made from mushrooms, and I was drinking that for a while, and I told him about that, and he felt like it was part of the geoengineering, the effects from that. Yeah. So, the stuff that's coming out of the sky, aluminum, we know causes Alzheimer's. So these things make sense. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just put it out there because I have ways of dealing with this so that I still can maintain my life. But it translates into cooking. And that was the one that really, made me change how I approach things. Because if I leave the kitchen while I am cooking, I have no idea that I'm cooking. I do not return to that room, then I'll burn it. So I have a thing called an Instant Pot, which you just turn it on with a button and then it turns itself off. And I have a counter oven that also turns itself off. So I have many ways of dealing with this. But, it's hard to fathom. But I literally have no memory whatsoever that I have started cooking something. I have no sense of urgency to go back to the kitchen. So, I burnt something once, like 10 years ago. And that's when I learned different tricks. And if I do have to cook something on the stove, I set the timer for 10 minutes and I tell another person in the house that I'm cooking and that the timer is on. So I just want to make sure everyone understands I'm perfectly safe about things. But it's just weird. It's really weird. I'm interacting with whatever is directly around me. Now that I began taking diatomaceous earth internally last year, and the 6-oil cure and intestinal edge, I wonder if it's the parasites. I wonder if the yeast on the brain, all these different things that live in our bodies because we eat sugar, which we're not supposed to ever really eat other than fruit sugars. But, humans eat a lot of things that create a lot of strife in their bodies. So I don't know if it's from the parasites. I don't know if it's from the geoengineering. But I do know when I saw this movie, I was pretty sure this is their end game. This is their goal. This is what they want for us, the ones that will be left after whatever tragedy they use for the next reset. This is how they want us to be. Now, I have to talk during this because I don't want to get any kind of a copyright strike or anything like that. This is a movie called Embers. This is Jason Ritter, John Ritter's son.
I was hoping you might know that.
I'm going to talk during the whole
I can't
thing.
remember.
Okay, in the beginning, these two people wake up beside each other, and they don't know who the other one is. They don't know their own names. They don't know where they are. They don't know how they got there the night before. They don't know anything. Now, I'm really not going to play a whole lot of this because I'm not going to risk getting in any sort of trouble. This girl here is living in an underground bunker with her father, and they are not infected. Okay? And I guess she can see the sky out this one skylight, so she lays there and looks out the sky. Now, this little boy, from what I remember, he appeared to be autistic, and he ends up, well, I don't want to tell the movie because you're probably going to want to watch it, but you don't really have to watch it. It's not like, a must-see. But the concept is a must-know. You must know that their goal is to make it where we have, well, let's see if it, there we go. We have no memories. They're walking and talking and saying, I feel like I know you. And she's like, I do too. And, they just hang out together all day. Okay, a future with no memories is a future with no past. This has to do with the reset. They don't want us to remember anything. And then they're wearing matching bracelets. Okay, he shows her his and says, we must have wanted to be together. And they say, well, maybe we're married. So a future with no memories has no past and no tomorrow, which is really, Anyway, so this old man here, right there, he seems to be one of the few scientists that remain. And he didn't seem as affected as the other people. Or whatever he was doing was recovering him. Yeah, I wonder what building that's supposed to be. I think that's the church that's in, oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of that town, but it's like a whole town is abandoned. I see the people. I think they filmed it there is what I'm saying. That's just an aside. Anyway, it's so bad that you don't want to separate from the person that you're with. Because if you separate from the person that you're with, you won't remember them. Okay? So their end game is to take away your memory. That's why they're spraying aluminum. That's why there's aluminum in the deodorant. That's why there's aluminum in the vaccines. The goal is to make it where we don't have the same sorts of cognitive function that we do right now, because we can only base our decisions on what's right in front of our faces. That's my opinion.